long you talk. Okay, so here's our note card. We're going to be talking about how to undo. If you have x plus 4 or 4 plus x, then you subtract. If you have x minus 4 or negative 4 plus x, what are you going to do? You add, yep, to undo. This is the one that everyone always forgets. If I have 4x, or even if it's a negative 4x, I divide because they're being attached through multiplication there. And then the last thing that you could have is x over 4 or x over a negative 4. Yep. Okay, so that's it for that little section. Questions on that or what that means? Does that make sense? Kind of why that might be helpful on the test? Oh, goodness. Okay, so two-step equations now. Really the next thing we covered. Two-step equations, we're going to write out our two steps. The first step is to move the number not with x. And yes, it's on the same side as x. Yes, it's beside x, but we kind of know what we mean by not with x. And then the second step is then to move the number with x. Which really, by the time you get to step 2, it's the only number on that side. So, okay, let's do a couple of examples. I'm going to split this down. Let's do 3x plus 6 equals negative 12. We always draw our line. Now I look up here. Move the number not with x. Which number is not with x? 6. How am I going to move it?
Subtraction.
Yep, so minus 6.
Which is 6. Negative 6.
So we get 3x left on this side because those zero out. And yep, negative 18 on this side. Now I get rid of the 3. If you look back up here, which one does the 3 look like? The 3x.
The division.
Yeah, the division one. So I know that tells me I'm going to divide. So x equals negative 18 divided by 3. Negative 6. Okay, let's do another two-step, and then we'll move on to the back page. 2 in parentheses x plus 4 equals 10. Now the reason I want to put this one on here is because this, with the parentheses, we don't really have that up here. So I want to talk about what to do first. Which number is not with x? The 2. How is the 2 attached to the parentheses though? So I'm going to divide. So I get x plus 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now this looks like a normal one. What do I do to get rid of my 4? And I get x equals 1. So hopefully that'll be maybe useful on your test. You can use that to kind of help guide what steps you're going to take. And you need this any longer. Okay, so then the back side. You only change the sign when multiplying or dividing a negative number. underline multiplying or dividing and negative number. Now this is talking about inequalities. It's really the only tricky thing about the inequalities. Okay, so let's do an example of when we do change the sign. So we would change the sign on this one. Negative 4x is less than 12. What do I do to solve this one?
You divide by
A negative 4. So that gives me x, and then 12 divided by negative 4, negative 3. And I change my sign because I divided by a negative number. So my sign is now going to flip and go that direction. Okay, keep sign would be this example over here. X over 2 is greater than or equal to negative 10. What do I do to get rid of this 2 here? Yep, multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. Okay, those go away, and I'm left with x on this side. What is negative 10 times 2? Yes. Now I keep my sign on this one because what I moved was not negative. It was a positive 2. Even though there is a negative on this side, I didn't move negative 10. Negative 10 was just always there. Does that make sense, the difference between the two? Okay, so that's all I'm going to fill up your note card with. Once you do your test review, then you can fill up the rest of this with anything that you think you're going to forget or examples from the test review that might help you remember how to do one on the test. As far as graphing inequalities go, I don't have one of those on here, but I do have one on the word wall. So if you guys look over right next to where the percent changes, I have an example of a 2-step inequality that's solved and then how you would graph it. So that can maybe help guide you too on the graphing ones. So keep hold of this. If you're afraid you're going to lose this, you can give it to me and I will keep hold of it for you until Monday or Tuesday.